Hey there, are you shocked by looking at me getting shocked? Well, truth be told, it's not necessary. Then, how can I hold these sparks? Hmm? It's a very long but very telling, perhaps an interesting story. Way back in 1752, and it all started by one man passionate toward discoveries that led him to invent the lightning rod that protects the building from lightning in the times of thunderstorms. Many of you would have already know him. He is an American dollar even. His name is Benjamin Franklin. Here's the story of lightning. Flying a kite in a storm was perhaps Benjamin Franklin's most famous experiment that led to the invention of the lightning rod and the understanding of positive and negative charges. The connection between electricity and lightning was known but not fully understood. By conducting the kite experiment, Franklin proved that lightning was an electrical discharge and realized that it can be charged over a conductor into the ground, providing a safe alternative path and eliminating the risk of deadly fires. Franklin hypothesized that lightning was an electrical discharge. Before he thought of conducting his experiment by flying a kite, he proposed erecting iron rods into the storms clouds to attract electricity from them. He also suggested that the tips of the rods should be pointed instead rounded so that they could draw electrical fire out of the cloud silently. Franklin speculated about its usefulness for several years as he was unable to perform his experiment since he thought it had to be conducted from a higher ground. Philadelphia has a flat geography, and at the time there were no tall structures. He was anxiously waiting for the construction of Christ Church that was being built on a steeple to conduct his experiment. Franklin wrote his proposal for the iron rod experiment in a letter to Peter Collinson, who was a member of the Royal Society London. Collinson presented Franklin's hypothesis to the society, who ridiculed and laughed at his idea, failing to recognize its significance. A year later, when the French translation was published, it attracted the interest of French scientists Delort and the Dalibard, who separately and successfully conducted Franklin's experiment, calling it the Philadelphia experiment. Franklin was recognized by the Royal Society of London and its scientific circles all over Europe, becoming the most famous American in Europe. Franklin had not heard of the successes of his experiment in Europe before he conducted the same experiment with a kite. One day, in June 1752, it occurred to him that he could test his hypothesis by flying a kite instead of waiting for the church to be built. With the help of his son, William, he built the body of the kite with two cross stripes of a cedar wood and a silk handkerchief instead of a paper, as it would not tear with the wind and rain. They attached a foot-long, sharp and pointed wire to the top of the kite as a conductor, and at the bottom end of the string where it held the attached a silk ribbon and a metal key. A metal wire connected the key to the Leyden jar. Franklin kept dry, but retreating into a bar. The end of the string was also kept dry to insulate himself. When the storm passed over his kite, the conductor drew electricity into his kite. The kite was not struck by lightning, but the conductor drew negative charges from a charged cloud to the kite, string, metal key, and hence Leyden jar. It appears that he knew enough about grounding to protecting himself from being electroshocked. When he moved his hand near the key, he received a shock because the negative charge attracted the positive charge in his body. This is the description of electric kite experiment in Franklin's own words from the Pennsylvania Gazette dated October 19, 1752. If you like these kind of scientific saga that is revolutionizing mankind, subscribe to my channel.